right there. Welcome to Midnight Reviews. Today we have my dad, my mom, Frank and Emily, doing a guest review spot today with me on the recently released biblical epic Noah.
Epic.
It's the best way to put it. So, before we really get into the movie at large, what'd you guys think of the trailers that we got? I know you thought they were way too loud.
I did. I thought they were too loud.
It's too loud.
My ears were ringing.
So, most of the...
So I have a chronic problem, and I can't even remember what they are anymore. Oh, wait, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2 is one of them.
What else?
There was the Maze Runner that looked stupid.
Okay, well, that reminded me of something else.
That actually looks interesting.
It looks retarded.
Oh, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the Cube. Totally. I was like, oh, this sounds like the Cube because it changes, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I'm sick and tired of young adult adaptations of crap. I'm just started with the Hunger Games, and I'm sick of it already.
And then there's Hercules.
Hercules. I am not looking forward to that. It's got The Rock, which is awesome, yes.
Yeah, it looks good.
But it's being directed by Brett Ratner, who, may I remind you, gave us Rush Hour 3.
Are you sad?
It makes me a little sad. I don't know, I just don't like Brett Ratner in general. Most of his stuff is crap, and he's kind of a dickbag. I don't know, yeah, then there's Spider-Man 2, Transcendence, which, I don't know, that could go either way with me. The one with Johnny Depp and the...
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but we've seen those.
Yeah.
I've seen that on TV, so...
Yeah.
And then the new Transformers.
Transformers. Okay, am I the only one that noticed, like, all of the close-up shots? Like, when they would do close-up shots of Marky Mark or his daughter in the film, they'd also have, you know, a giant American flag in the background.
Yeah, you're the only one that noticed it.
You're the only one that noticed.
Yeah, it's...
I thought the only thing I kept noticing was a red face and sweat.
Yeah.
It was about every scene was red face and sweat.
Oh.
What was the show that I told you that they showed a little bit, about 30 seconds longer, they would show the stinger?
Oh, yeah, that one. I can't remember it now.
So, man, if they would have showed 30 seconds more, we would have saw the stinger.
Yeah.
You mean the ending? You mean the whole thing? Is that what you mean by a stinger?
We pretty much saw the whole damn movie. I can't remember
Was it Spider-Man? Was it the Spider-Man?
I think it was Spider-Man.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I told the customers, 30 seconds more, we would have saw stinger.
It's just
the whole thing.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, it was Spider-Man. It was Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think
they
you're
showed
right.
It was such a long commercial.
Yeah, which is weird. But yeah, it's pretty much everything. So Noah, Darren Aronofsky's latest. I am a huge Aronofsky fan. I've loved all of his works. I know Mom probably you don't remember, but Dad, I definitely know, remembers how much he hated The Fountain.
I didn't like the show.
And I think that's the one Aronofsky film you have seen. I don't know.
You haven't seen The Black Swan?
Have you seen Black Swan? Or
that's with the girl from the Star Wars guy, right?
Yeah,
right,
Natalie Portman. And
I've seen
Mila
parts
Kunis.
of it. I haven't seen the whole show though. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Pi or Requiem for a Dream?
He did Pi. No, The Life of Pi. Not The Life of Pi.
No. This was like 90s.
I've seen Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, what did you think of that one?
It was okay.
Really?
It was just,
That movie gave me a case of the SADS for like a week.
In all fairness, I can remember very few of the movies that I ever see, so...
Which is true. That's part of the reason why we're doing this is almost as soon as we finish watching the movie.
It's fading slowly now anyway.
So, alright, before it fades anymore, so what did each of you think of the movie?
I thought it was fine. I've been watching a lot of reviews from people, and being a Christian, a lot of people from Christianity, you know, their take on it without seeing it. And I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Obviously I know the biblical aspect of the movie. I mean, I know the plot. And I think that Aronofsky twisted parts of it. Like the babies, the wives of his 3 boys were all on the ark. I'm wondering if him and who was the other writer?
Oh, I can't remember the name
Anyway,
of the other writer.
so-
Yeah, but he was one of them.
So Aronofsky and the other writer, I kind of wonder if they did the biblical, just how it was, and then took it and was like, this sounds boring. I mean, they couldn't like make a plot into it, and so then they had to twist it somewhat
drama.
biblically to make a plot out of it, to make it okay. Well, we've got to have this conflict with Russell Crowe, because I mean, in all of that with the babies and all that stuff, that was not part of the Bible. And
Yeah.
I've seen people take stories and adapt them for movies. So I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't have a problem with any of it. And as a matter of fact, biblically, it's not really anti-biblical, because technically they were on the ark, right?
Well,
The Bible just says, well, Noah, his 3 sons, and his 3 sons' wives were all on the
to be
ark,
fair,
so-
like all of the massive popular biblical epics have always twisted around some of what happened in the Bible. I mean, 10 Commandments. There's that whole romantic relationship between Charlton Heston and I forgot his love interest name, but they
Cleopatra?
no.
this is being recorded.
I know.
Redo your. You really need to go through and look at your ancient
do.
history a little bit.
I'm just
closer.
teasing.
I do.
But yeah, I mean that's
Good.
always happened.
I think it was Pharaoh's daughter.
Could be.
I mean, that's close enough,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Like,
Something
it's as good
like
as you're
that.
gonna get.
Whatever.
or niece or whatever. Who cares? Anyway,
from
I'm the stupid of the 3.
From a Christian aspect, I didn't find it offensive. I found some of it like when you're just plowing through life and things happen and you're like, well, this is what God intended. And the whole time you're like, okay, well, God intends this, God intends this, God intends this. And then when things twist and God puts in a plot twist, you're like, wait a second, I didn't see that coming. And so I think that was kind of a nice twist of it, is Noah thought the whole time, okay, well, this is going to be the end of the race. This is going to be the end of mankind as we know it. Now, none of that was ever biblical. I mean, like, clearly that was not even portrayed in the Bible.
yeah.
But on the other hand, it wasn't not portrayed. So we don't want to put more into the story than what was really there. So I think he kind of took a little bit of liberties there. But it does show like a deeper level of, hey, in our lives there are things that happen and we're just thinking that that's the way it's going to be, and we get this plot twist. So I kind of appreciated that aspect, and for somebody who's a professed atheist to kind of pull that out of the biblical account, I thought that was kind of interesting. I did like also how he said, water cleanses. I thought that was kind of interesting
Yeah.
from an atheist point of view.
Yeah.
And a lot of his quotes, that he did, God is in control and things like that. I'm like, and like creation. I mean, atheists, they utterly reject creation. And I think he did a good job of showing creation.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of nice.
I do admit, I think that the thought premise of Noah makes sense. I mean, his attitude of mankind is coming to an end and we are its destruction, and so the way that they portrayed his thought process actually makes sense.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That plus everybody that they showed that wasn't part of Noah and his group, they were completely evil with the one exception. But yeah, they were completely.
What was the one exception?
The girl that Ham found. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I was kind of disappointed. I thought Noah should have gone back and got her.
Yeah. I don't know. I think because he didn't. That's getting a little farther into the movie. I think because he didn't, that really fit with how nihilistic the whole movie was. I kind of liked that.
But his thought process is, we're all gone anyway, so why?
Yeah.
Why?
At that point,
It's a waste.
Yeah, at
It's
that
a waste.
point, he was even like, screw it.
And I think that does, though, show that God is, he's in control even when we mess things up.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe that girl should have gotten on the ark, but God's like, well, okay, well, I can make things still happen whether
Yeah.
you try and.
So, what did you think of it, Dad?
Yeah. keep my mouth shut.
Well, I thought the story was well told. We all know what the story is. We all pretty much know what the ending is, so there's no surprises.
Yeah. Well, basic, basic story. Noah,
of course,
gets a word from God basically to build the ark and take his family aboard, save all of the pure, innocent creatures, which are animals and everything, and then start a new Eden, basically. But
I mean, I thought the cinematography was well done in a lot of places.
Holy crap, that movie is beautiful.
The arc was epic. I thought that they made the arc really big. It felt like really big too.
I was trying not to laugh when there were all these twigs on the side. I'm like,
well, I didn't understand that for most of it. Then I'm like, oh, it's so that they can get into the ark through it.
No, there's like twigs.
Yeah.
No, like there was scaffolding. And then like on the right side of the ark, there were like twigs all up there. I'm like, that's like a waste. And then did you notice when they were, sorry I'm interrupting, but when you walk into the ark on the left side, there are like jars for the Dead Sea Scrolls sitting there. Like, really? Did you see those?
No, I didn't.
You'll have to watch it.
I wasn't looking for it.
Watch it on the DVD. Okay. Sorry.
No,
sorry.
really, come on.
I'm trying not to interrupt.
Let's see. Like I say, I thought the process was handled really, really good by the director as far as mankind's coming to an end. They kept consistent throughout the whole show with that attitude, and they did pretty good with it. And it really didn't bother me from one way or the other as far as Christianity goes. Now, the other things that did bother me about the show was there's a lot of spinning camera action.
Okay, can I just say yes?
I don't know. There was only one time that I was like kind of messed with that, but you already have issues with that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of it in this show.
There were some spans.
There were some spans that went from the ocean to the land, and it went from the rubble of rock to sand, and the way that they handled the camera. The fight scenes was the camera jumbling around.
The fight scenes, okay, because I know what kind of a director Aronofsky is. Like, he typically, when he has the chance, he won't film something action-packed or bloody in that kind of a way. But because this movie is PG-13, it felt like in some respects he might have had to rein in a little bit more of the violent aspects of the movie. And I understood it from that perspective. But I will say, yeah, it was...
Spin the camera?
No, I'm talking about the fight scenes.
It just seems like there was a lot of... the fight scenes, there's just a lot of spinning camera action in the show. And, yeah...
You are sensitive to it.
I am sensitive, but I noticed that there was a lot of it.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm glad I went to the show. I don't regret not seeing the show. It's a great show.
Yeah.
It tells a good story. It tells a good biblical story.
Absolutely. And I mean, these two are both, very devout Christians, and I'm, self-professed agnostic. And I gotta say,
praying for a change.
And I gotta say, I also love the movie. As I said, huge fan of Aronofsky's work, and I think that this movie is bloody fantastic. Like as my dad said, absolutely gorgeous to look at. I mean, Aronofsky has an eye for cinema, and it's gorgeous. The whole movie is beautiful. And one thing that actually caught me a little bit by surprise was the fact that the CGI was actually really good for the most part. There's only one point where I was a little iffy on, and that was near the end. But for the most part, like,
really, what part was that?
When the dove came with the branch.
Oh, all right.
I will say
I like the Nephilim, or the Watchers.
I'll say one thing that I was really impressed with. Let's not even talk about
the Watchers, please.
I was really impressed with the fact that we didn't have to watch a story about animals the whole time. I didn't feel like...
Yeah, they did a really good job
that we were always surrounded by animal sounds constantly, and we were surrounded by just constantly with shots of animals.
Put them to sleep.
Yeah.
That is a good idea. I've never even heard of that. That... And maybe, I don't know, maybe...
Yeah, I mean, the way that they handled that
for a while, but
is just to take the animals. Yes, we have the animals, but now we're going to kind of just keep them out of the background.
It keeps the
stars.
Yeah, they didn't make the animals.
It was kind of the MacGuffin, but in doing that, they make the film a film about the human element, about the human struggle,
right?
Instead of having to deal with the inherent drama that it would that there would be if they had to constantly be dealing with the animals, kind of like the I think there was like a Noah's Ark miniseries on NBC like 20 years ago or something, and that's what the whole miniseries was about, is, oh crap, this animal's now sick, oh crap, the animals are doing stuff over there. and it was just, it was like, okay, I don't care.
I like what they did with the animals as far as their
Put 'em to
take on
sleep.
that.
Yeah.
Put them to sleep.
That was funny when Noah's wife was like, snakes?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, spiders?
Yeah.
Wait a second here.
Yeah.
They can go on another floor, right? There are 3 floors.
Yeah.
They can go on another floor. I'm not going on that floor.
Yeah.
Are we talking about spoilers? Are we going to spoil it?
Okay, so the movie, awesome. We all recommend seeing it. Really great film. So warnings, what?
We recommend seeing it?
Do you guys recommend seeing it? You both were like, it's a really good movie.
I think it's a good show. It's a recommended see.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't
That's
think you're
kind of
going to
what I
get.
gleaned.
You're not going to get the impact of this movie in the middle of a living room on a 30-inch TV.
That is true. This film
the impact
really,
of the show really demands a big screen.
Yeah, it was filmed for the silver screen through and through.
Okay. I didn't think it was epic.
I really felt that the arc was really epic, and they really did a good job with it.
I thought it was a epic story, like large in scope story,
Yes.
but told through a very narrow few characters, and I think that's what worked. It wasn't like a Roland Emmerich thing where it's like a cast of thousands that kind of goes nowhere. All of the characters I really felt were very well developed. Like I was kind of expecting it to be just a Noah centric film that was all going to be on Russell Crowe, and then it's like, oh wait, Anthony Hopkins is in this movie, Ray Winstone's in this movie, Jennifer Connelly, Emma Watson, really? So that's something that the trailers don't show at all, is the supporting cast is actually really fantastic.
Okay, so now we recommend it.
We all recommend seeing it, so spoiler warning, if you don't want it to be spoiled beyond what could be
How do you
spoiled
spoil
about it.
a biblical story?
Because we're going
Whatever.
to talk about some stuff that's not in the Bible, right?
Whatever. The stuff that isn't shown in trailers, whatever. It's like spoiling The Great Gatsby. Gatsby dies at the end. Okay.
What?
Spoiler warning, go.
Well, I thought the whole grandpa thing was a little dorky because I think that a lot of people think that God is grandpa in the sky, or he's like this judgmental, tyrant. So I think that having the grandfather be the one that was advising him on all this stuff was kind of too grandfatherly gaudy to me. That was a little annoying.
I don't know.
But I did think the Barry thing was pretty.
He didn't even really advise him. He was more like, well, I think you need to talk to God a little bit more.
I think that the grandpa was the most undeveloped part of the show.
Yes, but what do you have to go by?
True.
He totally made that character up. It wasn't like, none of it was from the book.
Yes,
So
it was the most undeveloped character.
So he added a character that wasn't in the book. So when you do that, you're like, okay, well, where are we going to go with this guy?
But you got to admit, you bring Anthony Hopkins in, and no matter what you have him do, he's gonna. No, I'm saying like he's gonna make you forget all about that and realize, holy crap, Anthony Hopkins is awesome in everything.
He was fine. He acted fine, but the whole character somewhat annoyed me.
Okay.
Except for the berries. That part, that one stood out for me.
Okay, and then yeah.
You didn't like the berries? I thought that was funny.
I think it was just a cute touch. That was about it.
Yeah. And I don't know, I liked, and okay, this again also sticks with spoilers, but it's something that I appreciate about the film and how hard Aronofsky fought for this aspect of the film. It's really difficult to word this, but it wasn't edited or cut down for your Midwest Christians. It wasn't boiled down to a simple Sunday school story,
Right.
and sold that way.
Right.
Because then what's the point?
Yeah.
You just read the Bible again.
Yeah.
Whereas Aronofsky, he made this a very human story.
Yeah.
And the originally, apparently, some of the producers wanted to really edit it down and make it closer in proximity to something like Son of God, which just wouldn't have worked. And I'm glad we got to see Aronofsky's vision of this film.
Yeah,
It was his version. It was a good version.
I agree.
Through.
I agree. I think that when you're a filmmaker, you need to take liberties, and I think you did it fine. I mean,
yeah, I loved, and as I said, I loved how nihilistic the story was, and how they really put Noah through the ringer, and then by the end of it, he finally, you know, all of his patience, all of his like having to do everything that he did was paid off, and I think that was a really good touch. And I also liked how when he and his
coming to Jesus moment.
Somewhat, yeah. But I think that at the very end, where he and Jennifer Connelly, he was finally coming back to his family. How they didn't speak. Like, I was like, this moment is perfect.
Like, yeah.
Please don't put any dialogue here. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And he stuck with that. And I think that was much. I personally, I loved that.
Yeah.
But yeah, any final thoughts or anything else you guys need to say about the film?
This show was a lot better than The Fountain. By far.
I will admit The Fountain is a very divisive.
Was it better than you thought it was going to be?
Yes, it's better than I thought it was going to be. But I did appreciate the director's vision to the story.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that his creative liberties were okay. It's all right. It was, to me, it wasn't offensive.
Which is pretty cool to hear, actually. But yeah.
I'm going to go home and read the real version again, and then take it again.
There will not be a second video of just her critiquing the film on a strictly scriptural perspective. Anyway, yeah,
Maybe
we all
I'll
agree.
post it on my own YouTube.
We all pretty much agree. I probably liked it the most out of all three of us. But, yeah, definitely recommend it from all sides. And thanks for watching. This has been another Midnight Review. See ya.